for. But they'll develop some theory. There may be no end to the questions of how and why the committee operated outside. That, they could just keep you running in circles forever on that issue. Everything that the group is going to try to do on a go-forward basis is going to be, could be questioned. Could be questioned. And I don't, you know, that seems just unworkable. Wrongful act. What does it mean? Now, I'm in the definition of member. That was a definition. This is a definition. It means an actual or alleged error, misstatement, act, omission, neglect of a member's duty. And the EUB is not a member. So they're out there flapping in the wind with no coverage as respect to those. And I don't know how any insurance company can, you could go somewhere else and purchase or bind coverage for something that doesn't exist. It's not legal. And they're just not going to do it. Public administration is a duty, where it says member's duty. Public administration of funds. Authorizing bonds is a duty. Now, you notice I skipped from the EUB to yourselves. So it's a duty for those specific things. There's a lot of potential. When I read my charts tonight of why I was invited here, you know, there's a couple sentences, but it wanted me to address personal liability, and I'll hit that kind of on this one. A member's rights and duties under the coverage document can be transferred to someone else. Now, I'm in the section of 5, and that's just kind of other stuff, other things that are rules and regulations. You can't, as a council, turn around and give our millions of dollars of coverage to someone else without consulting us. Yeah, it's just required. There has to be some consent. Neither can you advocate your responsibilities. And I imagine your attorney already went over all those. Is you have a specific assigned duty as city council people to do X, Y, and Z, and you need to understand what those are. You know, it's kind of akin to saying, there's an old joke on the inside of what I do about someone coming to an insurance agent or someone like myself and say, you know, I'd really like some property coverage right now. And the question, well, why is that? Well, if you see the building behind me, it's on fire, and that was donated to us this afternoon, and we haven't added it to the schedule today. Does the marketplace, does the carrier want to cover something that's damaged or in lawsuit or in question? And the answer is, well, obviously they don't. And it just, why would someone contract, an insurance contractor, offer coverage for something that's just going to be that difficult? But we will, provided you follow chapter and verse and line by line. I'm telling you, we will, even on a look-back basis, for everything that we can find coverage for. And though I've mentioned, you know, we may not do this for the EUB, we're certainly going to do it for the city of Gardner, because you didn't know. And we're going to stand. But how do we put our money at risk if you don't follow line by line what the state of Kansas and others require? So here's my big finish, and then we'll go to questions. You know, this is all fixable. Again, I've been in numerous rooms in 25 years where it just wasn't. Where when you were done, the best you could do is get a few things put back together and move on and hope time took care of the rest. But here, you've got options. And you got options to take a step by step. May not be what everybody would want, and I got to watch it because I don't want to get involved in the debate. It may not be this or it may not be that. But you can deal with those decisions also after you've done everything legally, after you've created the organization, after everything has met statute in that. And so that's, you know, you've got options. You've identified your issues. The law provides a defined way and a constitutional authority to do the things that could be accomplished, so those are there. I'm not an attorney, but there are those exist that can take you right, step 1 to step 2 to step 3. And we're willing to work with the city and this council in getting those things done. It's 2014. I can't tell you how many lawsuits I receive at my desk in a week, but I know I have hundreds in a year. And I can't encourage you enough. Words aren't expressive enough, and sometimes my quiet demeanor and low effort just doesn't ring the bell satisfactorily to allow people. So this is my second large point. If it was me, there is no way you're getting me on that EUB if I was qualified and had not under its current, because I'm not going to expose my assets and my house and my college fund and my boat. I live in a community not too far from here. They're also part of the program. If I have 2 people in the Midwest that don't really appreciate my presence, they're on the council of the city that I live in. And that involved a specific claim a few years ago where they were named as council people as individuals. See, we don't cover the 2 citizens that just were stopped at the stop sign or traffic light up there about 2 minutes ago. Well, of course not. They're not part of this. We don't cover the children that were by the slide, this afternoon at recess. Well, yeah. But we don't cover you either in your individual capacity because you're out there. We cover you as a city council person. We cover you as designated and authorized and an official and all these. We cover you, and we do. But if you step outside, and this is what happened in the community that I live in, is they did some actions and made some decisions, and the ones that were affected by it came after them personally because they took it personal. And I had to be in a room and explain to them just what I explained to you is we don't cover those. And the suit was crafted where it didn't name the council people in their official capacity. It didn't name them in any way. So we didn't cover them any more than we do IBM or Motorola or something like that. And they said, well, there's got to be some way. And they were livid at me. And they continued to be so. But you know what? Their attorney wasn't. Their attorney kept working with me and saying, isn't there anything we can do or find or work through or create or do those kinds of things? And we worked at it and did the best we could, but it ended up being one of those things where we got some pieces covered, but we weren't able to pick anything. Language can affect. Words mean something. So I thought about this one, and I tried it on a member of staff. On this issue, if you get too far out there by yourself and you're personally exposed, you should be horrified by that aspect. You get to live your own life, and obviously I'm going to live mine, but there's nothing that I do that I want to put those things at risk. I've got some things I want to accomplish. I've got some things I'm passionate about and I'd like to see done, and people don't agree with me. But I'm going to work inside the system as best I can to get as many of those done and accomplished as I can. I don't want to step outside the system that would affect my family and other things in adverse ways. Here's the second word, and I bounced it off, and all the decisions that the EUB make could be considered bogus. Just forever chasing, everything could be called into question under the current arrangement. I wanted to hit you hard with that one so I would be clear. Not that I would be cruel or that I would go overboard or do any of those things, but if the roles were reversed, I would want an understanding of what the future might look like as someone that's at least traveled it a little ways. Thanks. I'm here for questions. I can tell you've struggled with this topic, and you're probably not done. But I hope I added not heat to this scenario, but some light